Love in its truest form is liberating. It lifts the soul, ignites passion, and nourishes growth. But sometimes what we call love is something else entirely, something quieter, subtler, yet just as consuming: mothering. To mother a man is not to nurture him, it is to carry him. It is to hold responsibility for what he has not yet claimed in himself, and to confuse control with devotion. It is to step into his shadow and call it care, to sacrifice your wholeness for his comfort. Today we'll explore 6 signs you're mothering him, not loving him. Recognizing these signs is the first step toward reclaiming the balance of intimacy, where love flows freely without suffocation or sacrifice. You constantly fix his problems. Every time he struggles, you step in. When his car breaks down, when he feels overwhelmed at work, when his friendships fall apart, you rush to be the solution. You tell yourself, this is love. But what it really is management. You're becoming his safety net, his planner, his problem solver, his rescuer. Love supports, yes. It holds space for growth and encourages resilience, but it does not step in to carry what belongs to another. When you fix his problems, you deny him the dignity of solving them himself, and without that dignity, he cannot rise into his own strength. It's not that he won't appreciate your help, he will, but he may also grow dependent on it, and you may grow resentful of always being the strong one. True love doesn't strip responsibility away. It challenges each partner to show up for themselves and for each other equally. You anticipate his needs before he expresses them. You know him so well that you predict his hunger, his moods, his preferences. You pour his coffee before he asks. You rearrange your schedule so he's more comfortable. You sense his irritation and silence your own desires before a word is spoken. It feels like devotion, but underneath, it is control. By anticipating everything for him, you don't give him the space to voice his own needs. And without that space, intimacy becomes one-sided. Instead of conversation, there is caretaking. Instead of mutual discovery, there is silent performance. Love is not about preempting discomfort. Love is about presence, meeting each moment together with curiosity. When you mother him, you rob both of you of the spontaneity and mystery that makes love alive. Instead of rushing to anticipate, pause. Let him speak. Let him reveal. Because love thrives in dialogue, not in silent sacrifice. You feel responsible for his emotions. When he is angry, you shrink. When he is sad, you overextend. When he is withdrawn, you feel restless and guilty, as though it's your job to pull him back into the light. This is not love, it's enmeshment. Love allows each partner to feel, to stumble, to rage, and to grieve without taking on the weight of the other's emotions. To mother him is to believe you are the regulator of his inner world. To love him is to trust that he can navigate his own storms. When you carry his emotions, you abandon your own. Your energy shifts from sharing life to controlling it. You become less of a partner and more of an anchor, holding him steady. But anchors don't move, don't breathe, don't grow. And slowly you will suffocate under the weight of emotions that were never yours to carry. You overlook red flags to keep the peace. He cancels plans last minute. He dismisses your feelings as too much. He avoids responsibility, yet you cushion the impact. You excuse his behavior because you understand his past, his stress, his fears. You tell yourself love is patient, love is forgiving. But this isn't forgiveness, it's erasure. Erasure of your boundaries, of your voice, of your needs. Mothering often masquerades as compassion, but it is really fear. Fear of conflict, fear of rejection, fear of being left if you speak the truth. Love does not ignore red flags. Love is honest, even when it is hard. Love calls forth accountability and invites both partners to rise to their highest selves. When you mother him, you protect him from the discomfort of growth. But you also rob yourself of the respect and reciprocity you deserve. You feel drained instead of fulfilled. Love, when balanced, is life-giving. It energizes, it softens, it fills your soul with warmth. But mothering drains you. Slowly, without noticing, you begin to feel exhausted. The weight of holding him up, of managing his needs, of carrying what should be shared, leaves you hollow. You start to mistake fatigue for devotion. You convince yourself that love is hard work. But love's work should not strip you of vitality. It should expand you. When you are mothering, your body feels it before your mind does. Tiredness, resentment, a quiet sadness that whispers, "This is too much, and I am too little," within it. The truth is, when love depletes you, it's no longer love. It's imbalance. A partnership should replenish both partners, not reduce one to caretaker and the other to child. Ask yourself honestly, does this relationship make you stronger, or does it slowly dissolve you? You lose yourself in his growth. You track his moods, his progress, his healing. You celebrate his victories louder than your own. You make space for his dreams while yours collect dust in the corner. Slowly, without noticing, you begin to orbit around his becoming, forgetting your own. This is perhaps the deepest sign of all. Love does not erase identity. It does not swallow you whole. Love is the fire where two souls burn brighter side by side, not one consuming the other. When you mother him, you disappear into his story. You carry his burdens, his failures, his future, and neglect the sacred responsibility of carrying your own. You tell yourself this is love, but it is abandonment of self. The greatest act of love is not to lose yourself in another, but to remain whole in their presence, to hold your own flame as brightly as he holds his, so that together you create something luminous. Mothering a man may feel noble, even necessary, but it is never love. It drains the giver, delays the receiver, and creates a bond of dependency instead of intimacy. When you step into the role of caretaker, you unconsciously teach him that you will hold the weight he refuses to carry. You become the one who fills the silence, fixes the broken pieces, and absorbs the consequences of his avoidance. Yet each time you do, you shrink a little more until your love begins to feel like labor. Love is not about rescuing. Love is not about over-functioning while the other under-functions. Love is balance. Love is respect. Love is two souls standing whole, side by side, choosing one another, not one shrinking into caretaker while the other lingers in boyhood. When you release the need to mother him, you create the possibility of true partnership, a connection where both grow, both contribute, both shine. And in that balance, you discover the truth that you are not his mother, his savior, or his keeper. You are his equal. And equality is where love is born, where intimacy deepens, and where the fire of real devotion can finally breathe.